how low can you go? This low. Gutfeld has a special guest.
First of all, I would like to apologize. Be able to Aries fetus.
Trump is on Gutfeld.
Mr. P, how's your golf game?
Well, haven't been.
That's a joke about the fact that someone tried to kill you on your golf course. That's you don't know that because you're thick as a whale omelet.
Thinking about it too much lately. I always said golf is a very dangerous game.
It really is. It really is.
Did you? You really did?
Especially if they're playing with you.
Yeah, that's true. That's
what? That was a mean joke.
Pretty sad.
No, it just wasn't a joke.
Did you?
It lacked all the working parts of an actual joke, Greg.
They had told you that the shooter was there. Would you have tried to take him out with your 3-wood?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. If I knew. Actually, the Secret Service did a great job. They saw the barrel of a gun, big gun.
Yeah.
And it came out through bushes.
It did. It came out through bushes.
And how many people would see that? First, he really was very exceptional to have done it. And we've been going through a lot of it. We're getting very good at it, but I don't want to say that too loudly because we don't want to bring any jinxes along, Tyrus. Right? But it's
Tyrus? You mean Tyrese? You know what? Fuck me. Keep calling him Tyrus. Sure. And by the way, Nikki, what's his name is a hot chick. Sure.
I mean, at least he could have yelled 4.
This is not a good thing to have practice at.
No.
Like, we're getting really good at stopping assassinations of Donald Trump. It's great. But I want to ask you, so Kamala Harris and the president, Joe Biden, if he's still president, we don't know. They called you after you got shot.
He's still president, for the record.
That and to wish you well, to say all these nice things.
They did.
But they're the same people that moments before say you're a threat to democracy, an existential threat, worse than Hitler.
Yeah, but he also says they're Marxist fascists that are going to destroy our country, and if they win, we're never going to have another election, and there's not going to be another country. Like, he talks way worse shit about them, dummy.
Does that mean that everything they say is full of?
Well, both of the shooters, one is dead and the other one is in prison, and it was really great work.
Jail. There's a difference, even though he doesn't think so.
Again by Secret Service, and a woman who saw somebody running.
Yeah.
And running
after hearing gunshots
for the car because he was caught, and the Secret Service agent started shooting at him. Didn't do any talking. Said just that's a barrel of a gun. Started shooting, which was amazing. That he saw it and then he started shooting. And so this man.
Why would that be amazing? That would be probably right in line with the job, I would think, unless it turned out to be one of their own.
And is running to the car, and a woman is a woman, of course. Woman's always a woman, right?
We just found out.
No, it's not always a woman, but I don't know what you mean, but sure.
Yeah.
No, but think about that. How smart. Who would do this?
Who would hear gunshots, see someone fleeing from the bushes, hop into a car, and drive away and not take down their license plate number?
She sees somebody running, and she didn't like the way he looked. He looked very suspicious.
Is that what it was? He looked wrong, and there were gunshots.
And followed him.
And he was alone, running from the bushes next to a golf course.
And took the car, parked it right behind his, and started taking pictures of the license plate. Who would do that?
A camera.
She also didn't park right behind him. He pulled out, and she followed him, and she took pictures as he stopped at the light and drove away.
And then sent the picture to the sheriff, who's a great sheriff of Palm Beach County.
Right, because she heard gunshots, and that's why.
And sent the pictures to the sheriff's office, and they got him in a high-speed chase down the highway.
Yeah.
But who
medium speed
would do that? I mean, I said, out of 1,000 incidents, would that ever happen? And they said very rarely a thing like that. So she's very much of a...
Very rarely? Which part? That people hear gunshots, see someone running, they look suspicious, and they call it in?
Heroine, right? Heroine.
Yeah.
Yes, that's the word. That's for a female hero. Well done.
It blows my mind like how you take these events so not lightly, but it's almost casually. The way like I get more angry, when my pant pocket gets caught on a doorknob. I get angrier about that.
Well, that's because you're weak, obviously, and he's strong. Yes, Donald loves you.
You get angry about getting shot at. It doesn't.
Because you don't have 9 people in bulletproof vests making sure that your pocket doesn't get caught on a doorknob?
How do you
And you also have no attachment to reality?
process that?
Well, number one, do I have a choice?
Yeah.
Right? What am I going to do, right?
Yeah.
We have a choice. But, it's interesting. I was thinking a lot about it over the last period of time, since Butler. And
Right. So you weren't thinking about it before that?
And being president is a very dangerous job.
Really? That it just occurred to you? Also, you're not president. I think what you're trying to say is being a candidate for president is a very dangerous job, especially if your followers are lunatics. You're not president.
Because with a race car driver, that's a dangerous job. It's like
Yeah, sure.
0.1% die. Mm-hmm. With a bull rider, I think bull riding looks pretty scary, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a little bit more than that die. Mm-hmm. With a president, what is it, 6% or 7%? It's the most dangerous profession there is. So if you want to be president, I have a lot of friends.
Oh, boy.
That wanted to run. They're thinking about maybe not doing it. But here's the only good thing is that
It's the only good thing.
it's always a consequential president that gets shot at.
Mm-hmm. So you're saying Gerald Ford was more consequential than you were? Cool. And you're saying, I guess, that neither Bush was consequential, and you weren't consequential because it didn't happen while you were president.
And fortunately, so far, I've been very lucky, or something
So you, McKinley, Garfield, Taft, right? Wait, who is it? Yes.
is greater than all of us.
Ooh.
Something is up there. Someone is up there, maybe watching over us.
I think he's voting for you.
Yeah. It's funny.
But not for firefighters who bring their family to his rallies, obviously.
I always thought the most dangerous job was feeding the View. But you bring up God. And you've almost been killed twice. Do you think more about
Believe me, his heart and his colon haven't gotten started.
your own mortality and what happens after you move on?
Yeah, not about mortality, but I do think more about God, because
People tell you the odds of you getting hit were so high, and it was like a 1-foot putt.
okay, Butler was really the greatest of all miracles. If I'm not,
Yeah, dude, 2 other people got gravely injured and will never be the same again. And one guy had his fucking brains blown out all over his family. I wouldn't advise bringing Providence in on this.
looking over there, and I mean a full turn, exactly 90 degrees, I wouldn't be here right now.
Bullshit. If the bullet had gone, that's like saying if the guy hadn't been rushed, you wouldn't be here right now. It's more about the cop that climbed up there than it was about what fucking direction your head was going.
And your ratings would be a little bit lower, perhaps.
We'd have kill me there.
We have to tell the story of how we first met. The ratings over. Remember that
Yes.
1 week he just played that thing? But I do think about that because the chart, it was basically an immigration chart. We had our lowest numbers that we've ever had.
Oh, right. The lying chart. Hold on. Trump immigration chart. Now, this would be a good way to end the show today. Let me see if I can. Where's his? There's got to be an image of the actual one he was using. Where's that one? There we go. Yeah, this is it. Here you go, kiddo. This is this is Trump's one that he talks about all the time. This is his chart where he goes, this right here, in case you can't read, where this red arrow is, it says Trump leaves office. Right there. Trump leaves office. There you go. And then this is Trump clampdown begins. Whatever. This is where the clampdown, whatever the fuck that's. Okay, new DHS tools begin. Tariff threat leads to Mexican cooperation. Blah blah blah. This is really where the disease starts to spread. But right here, this is just in case you're wondering. Right here, where it says Trump leaves office, that's April of 2020. That's when that arrow is. Trump leaves office in January of 21. There's the marker for 21. And the first tick over is January. It's right there. This was the climb after the 15 days to slow the spread shit really kicked in. It was right about here. And then it went all the way down to this. The lowest it was during COVID. And that's April of 2020. Just to clarify, and just real clear. According to this chart that Trump says is his favorite chart in the world and saved his life, according to that chart, Donald Trump ceased to be president in 2020, in April of 2020. That's when it went to its lowest. Was in April of 2020. And by the way, I'll remind everybody that during the 15 days to stop the spread and all that kind of shit, there's always a lag on these kind of numbers. They just stopped counting. Even when people got through, they were just like, we're not paying. They pulled DHS and Customs and Border Patrol down to like skeleton crews. And so the numbers were counted lower as well. But that's exactly when that is. Hold on, back up. Can we? This is the factcheck.org. Let's see. Can we bring? What does this do? Visual search. Okay, hold on. This is the biggest thing. I just want to open it up. Let's see. Open image in new tab. That's what we want. We want to do. There we go. So we can really blow this fucker up. There we go. So if you look right here, yeah, boink. Let's jump right in here, shall we? There you go. So check this out, kids. Here's 2021 right here, right there. That's the beginning of 2021. That's January of 2021 right there. That's January 1st, 2021. There's where the 21 is. See that straight line up there? Okay. You'll notice that it has started that undocumented immigration into the country, illegal immigration, has started to skyrocket right afterwards. Just saying. Largely because of Title 42. And these are not the people that actually came into the country and stayed. The vast majority of this, what you're really looking at here is recidivism. This orange part right here is all people who came and left and came and left and came and left and came and left. And so somebody enters the country is 5 times, is kicked out 4 times, counts as 5 people according to the Trump crowd. But what we can be abundantly clear about, there's no argument whatsoever that Donald Trump says Trump leaves office. Lowest illegal immigration in records is what it says right here. That is, here's 2019, here's 2020, January, February, March, April. Right where that arrow is, that is April of 2020 on this chart. April of 2020, Trump leaves office. Yeah, and now there's certain truth to this. I will say there's a certain truth to this. Because at this point, he just decided, fuck it. He'd stopped even fucking pretending. This is also when, the next month and the month after that was when he sold the largest order of pork, corn, soybeans, and beef to China while Americans were in food lines because of COVID. If you'll recall, remember in Texas when they had those big long food lines and they were handing out food and all that kind of shit, and you had people like Ted Cruz and shit, like basically. Hold on, can I make this even bigger? I guess I can. There we go. Move this. How do you move it? There you go. There we go. See, now you can really look at it. It looks much better for Trump from a way off. Boy, does this chart work really fucking well when you're in an audience at one of these dipshit gatherings on a sunny day in the middle of nowhere. But once you actually get to look at it, and you're like, oh, 19, that must be 20. Here's 21. This would be April of 2020. According to this chart, Donald Trump ceased to be president in April of 2020, according to his favorite chart. And again, he certainly gave up after a while. After the election, he was like, fuck it. When he was like, we would have had a deal with Iran within 2 weeks after the election. Well, then why didn't you make it just for posterity and the safety of America and Israel? Why wouldn't you make that deal? And what would you have added to that deal that the incoming president and his administration would have rescinded? What would you have given them where they would have gone, what the fuck? Right? Yeah, he might as well have just drawn this arrow with a fucking Sharpie. Here is where Donald Trump, this is where it was when Donald Trump left office, right here, right? That spot right there. That's when Donald Trump left office. This is from April of 2020 to January of 2021. And the rest of this, by the way, is recidivism. Same people coming in multiple times. Now, I think, let's see if we can do this. Control minus. Yeah. Okay, so they make no distinction. There's nothing in this chart. Here's DACA announced back here. Like how terrible. Obama family detention policy, whatever Flores reinterpreted. MPP begins. Whatever. Trump tariff threatens Mexican cooperation. Starting to go up here. And then it went down because of COVID and all kinds of other shit. New DHS tools in summer of 2019. Summer of 2019 was when the disease was starting to spread all over the fucking place, especially if you had connections with China. It was coming in. But a myriad of other things as well. And they stopped counting, too, because he didn't like the numbers. And then took a giant shit. By the way, this is also, I would like to say, this is also when right after I started my live stream. I started this live stream, the regular live stream, Hal Sparks Mega Worldwide, in March of 2020. So I'm as responsible for this dip in illegal immigration as Trump is. Because I never pretended to stop working after that. Yeah. So, and again, the rest of this, it's hard to even tell what the fuck. Like, they have arrows pointing out. Biden world record illegal immigrations, many from prisons and mental institutions, also terrorists. At the top of this, with an arrow pointing at this red line of nothing like this has ever happened to our country before! Exclamation point. I don't know who the fuck made this, but it is hilariously bad. Okay, so. Okay, all right. So the chart, it's way over here on the side. Let's blow this up. So this is their way of charting it. Minors are the red is minors, blue are families, yellow is single adults. And again, in large part, these are the people who get kicked out immediately and then come back through. So if you're going to have recidivism, it's going to be in these folks. It's going to be in this orange area. The families and the minors are the ones that are going to get asylum right away. The single adults in the orange, they're going to be the ones who they immediately get rejected, sent to Mexico, come right back through, and then right back through, and then right back through, and gacked up all the recidivism numbers that we looked at. So just to be clear, so this bullshit chart was always bullshit, and it's always going to be bullshit.
In immigration, and I very rarely use it, maybe
he uses it all the time.
15, 20%. It's always on my left, and it's always at the end of a speech.
Also, no, it isn't. He has two screens most of the time.
So now I said, bring down the chart right at the very beginning, almost like the first sentence of the speech.
Because the only thing you want to talk about these days is immigration. Because you didn't want to talk about anything else except brown people are invading our country because the poisoning the blood of our country conversation point is your favorite fucking thing to talk about.
Bring down that chart because.
Oh, sorry. Somebody's saying what? Judge got shot by Loudoun County, Kentucky sheriff himself, was arrested. Jesus. Oh, and can I say for the record, the dude, the I-75 guy, I think it was a 275 Kentucky shooter dude. 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 275 My mom, when they were looking for the guy in the woods, the Kentucky shooter, who opened fire on a bunch of cars and he wounded 5 people, and then he ran off in the woods and he'd left this message that he's going to kill a bunch of people and then himself and all this shit. And they couldn't find him. They were using heat sensors and all kinds of stuff, like infrared, to try and find him. My mom, who's a nurse, her immediate reaction was before this happened, he's dead. She's like, that's why they can't see him with infrared, with heat-seeking stuff in the in there. Sorry, where we go? I saw in the staff chat. What am I looking for? She was like, the reason they don't find him is because he's dead. His body stops putting off heat after a little while, and then that was that. Well, my mom was right. And they were putting out guards around my, Frankfurt, where, the area where my family's from. And she was like, I don't know why they're doing this. He's dead. Like, she was saying it. She's told me this. And sure as shit, this couple found him. Yep, followed the buzzards. Kentucky people found the body believed to be interstate shooting suspect after scouring the woods for days. For 11 days, they scoured the vast, rugged wilderness of Daniel Boone National Forest in the manhunt for 32-year-old suspect Joseph Couch, who apparently was angry that J.D. Vance tried to sex him up. I'm kidding. Who authorities say texted a woman before the shooting that he planned to kill a lot of people and then kill himself. 5 days into the unsuccessful manhunt, Fred and Sheila McCoy set out for Couch in the dense wilderness, hoping for a piece of the reward that's being offered for information. And sure enough, they found him dead. Continued to evade capture day after day, especially after he was dead. Anyways, so my mom called it. I'm just saying. I definitely come from good stock. I had an uncle who was the longest serving English teacher at Nashville Tech. Something like that. Yeah. Yes, if they're circling, if buzzards are circling, it's not vultures there, it's buzzards. If the buzzards are circling, dead. And we knew this when I was a kid. Like, you driving around, you'd see birds circling, you're like, oh, something's dead. Usually a deer, something like that. Occasionally a person. Yep. Anyway, so we'll end on that, because God knows he's not going to say anything worth saying. And maybe I'll cover this tomorrow, because tomorrow, even though I have to go to Durham tomorrow night, I got to be on a red eye tomorrow night, I still will be able to do my regular show. So tomorrow, Friday Eye in the morning, and then of course in the afternoon, our regular show, which maybe entails me picking up where we left off with this horse shit, because I already went long, and you guys are wonderful, and I love you, and I will see you later, and take care of yourself and take care of somebody else, and dear God, I've got to get something to eat. I finally got some sleep. Can you tell? Like, I feel like yesterday I was like, here's a show. You're doing a show. And then finally I got like a decent night's sleep after the drive back from the show on Tuesday. All right. Anyways, much love. Talk to you later. If I'm going to see you in Durham, wave in the chat room. If I'm going to see you in Durham or in Phoenix or in Kansas City. Because I want to do, I need to do a meetup at some of these things. But I don't want to eat into the meet and grope, because that would be bad for everybody else's business, and that's not right. So I'm always conflicted about that. So it wouldn't be on the same day. It would have to be on a different day or something like that. And that if I'm lucky, maybe the kidney will show up, or...
The kidney has a very special place in the heart.
True.